What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ultra OK Duelist. I am your host, James, and this is my co-host.
I'm Damien.
And today we are here with Lance.
Lance the man.
But a quick reminder before we start, don't forget to go down, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for when new videos are uploaded. Sorry, that's my first time doing that. Anyway, so we're here with Lance. Lance, welcome to the show. You're our second guest.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you're going to get all loosey-goosey here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we always start off with simple questions, obviously. So we're going to do the same question we do every episode, which is, how did you get into Yu-Gi-Oh?
It was a mix of like collecting Pokemon cards and watching the anime. Started off collecting Pokemon cards, but didn't play. And I just remember like sneaking into my sister's room, right? And for some reason she had like a box and it had Pokemon cards in there. And I just remember like grabbing the Cubone. I don't know if you remember that one. And it's like with the skyline, and for some reason
there, I think he's just standing there.
And he's like looking up, and I, like for some reason that just like drew me into it, you know.
Yeah.
And then like watching the Yu-Gi-Oh anime every like Saturday morning stereo, and you know, just seeing everyone around me play and stuff like that.
Yeah. And what was, so when you got into the anime, what was the first deck you bought? Or like, did you buy a structure deck, or did you not get into the game right away? Did you get in like later down the road?
Well, it's kind of like hard to say, you know, because it was like a long time ago, but I remember my dad would give me an allowance, and all of that would just go to like
Privileged.
No, I had like a chore list. That's what it was. I had a chore list, and
Okay.
if I did all my chores, and I would get my allowance, you know. And so like I was like in a real small town, and the only card shop was like a little deli shop.
Oh, that's right. You were in Nebraska. Is it Nebraska?
Yeah. When I was like 9, I
forgot
moved
about
to
that,
Nebraska, and there it was like everyone played until we went to like the 7th grade, and then like nobody played, you know. And that's where, you know, we kind of stopped, you know. And then
Too cool for card games.
I mean, I wasn't. It's like nobody told me, you know. I was still
He was not
learning,
informed
you know.
about the information.
Too cool for card games. Yeah. That's weird though, because like you start off as kids doing it, and then you just drop it in high school when it was already socially acceptable. So I guess like
It wasn't even high school. It was like
Or middle school.
7th grade. Like as soon as we went to 7th grade, and there was like, oh no, we don't play that anymore.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
What? No
This
one
is where
told
you
me.
start.
You're like, why
Yeah,
was
that's
I
the
not
age where you
informed?
start like becoming aware of like things, and you think girls aren't into that, even though they probably watched the show too with their brothers or whatever. If they had family members or whatever, they were probably watching the show too. They just never brought it up because it was like, you know,
Something
Yu-Gi-Oh is heavily
Anime
dominated
wasn't
by
cool
dudes.
back
Yeah.
then, you
Yeah.
know. Like
Well, I mean, it was cool, but like Dragon Ball Z was cool.
Oh yeah,
you
Dragon
know?
Ball Z was
And
always-
all our jocks or whatever dudes at our school would fucking dress their hair up like they're
Go
Super
to-
Saiyans or something like that.
Oh
so.
yeah, that was a phase.
I don't know if you
where
remember that phase.
we would spike our hair.
Yeah, and they'd
You know,
always
with the
have
gel.
like double. For some reason, these guys in high school or in middle school would have double collar shirts from like Hollister or Abercrombie, and
That
they'd have
was-
two colors on. They'd have their hair all spiked with the tips all
That
yellow.
was more like a prep thing. That
Yeah.
was like
all the jocks did it. Yeah.
the double polo shirt.
Yeah,
the
that was
double-
just the weird thing. That happened over there in Nebraska too? Or was that something
like
you
that
saw
was
when you
like a
moved
little
here?
like that was like the generation before me, you know, that I remember. And that was just like guys who came from the suburb, you know, that were like
Yeah.
preppy was a thing. The sports guys, we always just wore like sports, because I came up playing sports, and we just wore like sports t-shirts, like
Yeah.
teams and stuff like that. And you know, when we saw the guys with the polos, it's like, oh, those guys are like kind of like the pretty boys, you know, like the preps and stuff.
Yeah, so I would assume around that age is when you just completely drop.
because
wanting to have anything to do
literally
with that stuff.
nobody else was playing. That's the only reason. Like and I would still been in it like, but you know, other than getting cards from Walmart, which my dad and grandma never did, you know, like, no, we're not buying that. Like 15 bucks for like, I remember the tins and stuff like that, you know. They're like, are you crazy?
For some cardboard, they're like,
Yeah, you know. And then my dad really knew I was into Yu-Gi-Oh, and he like showed me this shop, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. And that's what we would do, because to get to the Walmart, you had to like basically drive like at least 30 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And the Walmart was like the only store, and in between there was like the deli shop. So go to Walmart, get the things we needed, and on the way back stop by there. I had my allowance saved, and I would just buy cards. And
So you can't remember the earliest deck that you even played? What's the earliest deck that you remember playing?
Well, back then that was just like throwing everything together. And then when I came back recently, was because like there was people playing at St. Philip's, like the student center.
Yeah.
It was just like a big, like all the people there all played every card game, you know, and they were actually really good. Like there was a guy there who like knew the rulings front to back, you know. And
there's always that one guy that knows more than everyone.
but what that actually helped me out, because playing a lot of games there, and Danny can tell you about him, you know. And that's where I met Danny as well. And but playing there helped me to see what it was like to play in a tournament at Heroes, you know. But when I came back, not playing competitively, I built an Egyptian God deck, you know, still going off of the anime. What's good cards are the Egyptian God cards, you know. So I made
like your
that.
thought process on what you thought was good was still based on the anime at that point.
Yeah. And really, like, I had started watching the anime, right? And it was because I was working, like, the store I was working at was 24/7. So it was like I was going to school, and then other than that, I was working, you know. And I just really like I had a lot of anxiety, and like I just really didn't feel happy, you know. And I was like, well, when's the last time I can remember feeling happy? And it was those Saturday mornings watching the cartoons, playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'm like, you know what, let me put on some Yu-Gi-Oh. So I put on Yu-Gi-Oh, and like
a little escape from reality.
It was.
Sure.
I'm like, man, I remember playing this game, and then that's when I sought out to, and I'm watching them play, you know, because like I said, I don't know anything about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like, I feel like I can play, you know. Then that's when I started looking out to play, and it was like at St. Philip's. Everybody was playing there, and I was just going with my Egyptian gods, trying to win. And
I want to see one of those. It would be cool if we could.
It was just
a duel of that.
Well, now it would be different, because back then you had to special summon a lot just to tribute summon, you know. Which actually playing that helped me become a different player. Now, you know, I can see combos differently, you know, because I was playing such a bad deck, you know. And it's like, okay, you summon Obelisk, and you know, they're just gonna get rid of him, you know. So the guys there at St. Philip's are like, hey, the Monarch structure deck is released. He's like, get you 3 of those and you should be good.
Yeah, Monarchs. I will always say this if I ever hear about Monarchs. I absolutely hate Monarchs. I really do. So
Bring them back.
Go ahead. I just want to throw that out there. I hate Monarchs.
Why do you hate Monarchs?
Just because,
like, going up against them or playing them?
Just tributing my cards.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd rather see a kaiju because you get some value from the kaiju, you know, or the lava golem, because
the Stormforth, right?
Stormforth removes your card.
I remember that was so busted back then.
Yeah,
that was so busted.
And then you don't have anything there; it's just gone.
And it's like, you use my monster to make your good monster, you know. And
at the time they were really overpowered. So, but yeah, that's why I don't like Monarchs. Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. There's decks like that, like I guess like Striker would give me PTSD. And it's like when you play.
Yeah, I guess you could totally describe it as post-traumatic stress disorder.
Or Spirals.
Mine is Plunderies.
Plunderies?
I
hate
stand
Plunderies
that deck, bro. That deck is just so stupid.
Yeah, when Amanda plays it, I'm so glad I don't lose. But she does get some pretty bad hands when I'm playing her, and I have like every out
To
to
the
stopping her
plays,
ability to
those
make a board. But
Yeah, it's like you think you know, like, all right, I see their board, I got them, and then they're like, all right, wait, you normal summon? Did I hear you normal? Okay, boom, 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 and it's like, damn, they go off. Glad they lost the Lockbird.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
their deck is still okay, but
it's still pretty much a complete deck. You know,
it
it's
just
just
doesn't have the
lost the win con, I guess.
Yeah. So with the Monarchs, you started playing competitively with the Monarchs. Then was that like your first competitive run?
Yeah, it was my first time like putting a deck together that could do something, and then it's like, okay, you got all the cards. Now you need to like learn how to play it, because you can still play a card, but with that, it's like, okay, you choose 3 cards and then your opponent, adds 1. And so it's like, okay, what cards am I choosing?
Yeah.
What
Or you can just reveal 3 of the same card and you're gonna get the
Oh, that sounds
right.
stupid.
I think you could.
If you could do that, but a lot of the times it's like you already used a card.
Yeah.
So it would be like a lot of times it would be like 2 and
Well,
then
they would
one
reveal
good
like
card.
3 tenacity and like
Yeah.
whatever.
But
So
yeah,
you're like, well, I guess you're getting that card right there. Because you only reveal
that's
one
yours
card.
now.
Yeah.
yeah, but that was like my first. But then like the next day, the ban list came out and it hit Ether,
Yeah.
and I just remember like, okay, I got the hang of it, and I don't know if it was Danny that was playing or somebody else, and he's like, "You're playing that?" Yeah. He's like, "Well, you better check the ban list." He's like, "It came out this morning." Check the ban list.
Yeah.
Because I still haven't did anything competitively, and I'm like ban list, and then it popped up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You mean I can't play cards?
I just spent money on this card and now I can't use it.
Yeah. And
That's something I was new to.
You did that also recently when you bought the cash, but they didn't hit it too bad.
That's different though, because sometimes it's like when you buy into meta, you're gonna know that like eventually this is gonna get hit.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to
The
definitely know it's
broken
gonna.
ones are gonna get hit.
Yeah, broken cards usually get hit, but I mean, this last ban list, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but it really did nothing as I had predicted this. I told you it wasn't going to do anything. And
I think
don't
it just
really
stopped
did much.
I think it stopped Cash from like completely going overboard nuts, because
Yeah.
like I said, now that I've played like Cash a little bit more, now I'm like, man, you're kind of like lucky I don't have Daguerre's.
Yeah.
Like literally 5 zone block.
Yeah.
And
it can get very, very annoying when you do have your zones blocked out. And the thing about the what was it, the German nationals, that was like the first, I think, tournament where they didn't get first or something like that. So like they didn't get first place seating in that Castera.
because it was
majority
the
of the decks that topped were Sprite.
Yeah. Well,
The
I mean,
percentage
like
wise.
the main deck that like the player that won first wasn't a Castera player.
Oh,
So it was like the first tournament. But yeah, that was a weird event there with the Eradicator. I mean, that dude, I think he just drew very unlucky to lose your entire hand to Eradicator Epidemic Virus. And what do you think about that?
that video.
I didn't see it, but I did hear about it, how the Labyrinth player was able to like search and set Eradicator, which is like, that's pretty good. But then again, like it has to hit, because we were just talking about it. Like I played against it twice when we went to Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I played against it twice. The first one, it did hit some key cards that I needed, but it wasn't like too different. And then the second one, it like I had a handful of monsters.
Was this all in game 1? Or did you see the Eradicator in game 2?
They were both game 1s.
Okay, yeah. I was like, in game 2, did you side out a lot of spell cards going up against it? Or do you remember that? Do you remember siding them out?
Usually my side is like a bunch of go second cards. So I think I did like two lightning storms, and but really like they weren't really playing like meta. Like the one of them was playing the Labyrinth deck. I think that's what it is with the field spell, the Layer of Darkness. Sorry.
Yeah, where they
and so
tribute
he
your
was,
cards.
Yeah, and he was just tributing the Lilith and did the trap, and then was bringing out the big guy.
Yeah.
That if you tribute
The Diablos.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, try to kaiju him. He's like, he can't be tributed, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
But
that card has got some armor there with the kaijuing. Yeah.
But other than that, it wasn't really
Kaijus
because
are
like
pretty
that
good.
was like his only monster, and like no back row, and it's like, well, like it's not.
Do you think Eradicator is going to be like a problem going forward? I don't really see it. I think if you get hit with it, congratulations, kind of thing. It's like getting nibbed.
Well, the thing
You
is,
know?
it's a trap, so a lot of people like generically think it's slow.
Yeah.
But
With
it
that
can be
deck
searched.
specifically, you can just put it on the board with like a trap trick or whatever, and it can be activated that turn. And they play multiple versions of trap trick because there's that other card, trap tricks or whatever, where it tributes one of their cards and puts a card on the like a trap card in the back row. So depending on how many monsters, if they have two, they contribute the one they don't need, and then still Eradicator you, which is, I think,
that's pretty good. And but also like again, like the Eradicator has to hit. I feel like if you know what your opponent's playing, then it's a better card.
Yeah.
You know, because if you know like they're playing like spells that are
probably
know,
better in a side deck then.
Yeah, that's what I. But then again, like if you like. I don't know. I guess that was just the strongest Eradicator virus, we've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a wild. Like the dude just revealed his hand, and I think like every single card except
Was
for one.
he had like a Fenrir.
Oh,
He
that
just, like,
also
he just
too, though.
pulled his hand out and shook his hand or
Yeah,
whatever.
because he had a Fenrir, and that was basically
was it,
and
but,
everything
like-
else was gonna get sent to the graveyard.
Yeah,
And then also like the hand knowledge
yeah,
too, because then you can like know like, oh, they got this and they got this. So and you know the lines of play. So that's a big
Just basically, the guy already knew he was gonna lose because there was no point of pushing it through. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was just gonna win regardless. He
Have
just had a
you
really
have
good
you
back.
done any regionals, or what's your highest level of accomplishment in Yugi?
I've attended some regionals. Did not do too good. I think I did about 3 of them, and the last one, I played Eldritch and Vote, and
Pretty strong deck.
it was okay, but like I said, I was just getting smacked up by Branded and Swordsoul all day.
Yeah,
And that's the reason why I made the switch to Swordsoul, because it's like no matter how big or how good of a board,
they just
I
have a
said-
lot of advantage.
it just
You
broke
gain a
my
lot of
board, made their board, and then still with like
Had
handful of
recovery,
cards.
so if you would have re-destroyed their board, instantly make that board again. Just
Yeah.
because it has really good recovery.
Yeah, when you were playing it, I would actually be a little worried that much more over Phantom Knights when you were playing the Phantom Knights. Much more than that, because the amount of card economy you can gather from it, and just the kind of monsters you can put on the board. They're just big.
It's just wild
And they
that
do
you
a
can
lot,
just end your
you know.
board and have like 4 cards after you set cards down, and you
And you're-
still have a full hand.
In your version of it with the cards that you play in it, the cash, it just goes like an extra mile, I think. And to start with, how it works. Obviously, you can tell us a little bit about that, like what your thoughts are on it. Obviously, it's your deck, so I think you have a lot more insight into it.
Yeah, well, I play Swordsoul Cash, but I do not play any tennies. And
No net deck, right? You didn't look this up or whatever. You just
no, I was just, it's just hearing Cash all over the place and going up against it and seeing what it could do. I'm like, I just need a little bit of the Cash stuff to make it go. And with the Swordsoul stuff works with itself, like
yeah,
Moye, you can reveal Moye. Longwan, you can toss Longwan. And it's like you got 3 Longwans, 3 Moyes. Moye also lets you draw one. You got the Ecclesia that could be a summon. And then you got 3 Emergence that searches, So I'm like, the consistency is there. It's just how they're clashing. If I played the tennies, the tennies are going to clash with the sword, the
cash tier.
the cash,
cash
the
tier.
cash.
yeah. Because once you do the special summon, you're locked into worms or whatever.
Well,
Just
it's like
like one.
when
Also,
to
there's
special
no
summon
monsters. You have to have no effect monsters on the board.
Yeah, and to
so-
special summon the tennies, you can't have no monsters.
Yeah.
So it's like you special summon a tenny, and then it's like, well, then you're not going to be able to special
That's
summon
the
the
cash
cash monster.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I have a hand, I was like, so it's basically, what would you rather special? A tenny monster or a cash monster?
A cash.
And I was like, I don't need a tenny monster. I have the sword soul stuff. The cash, one of them is gonna add me another piece that adds me another piece.
Yeah.
So I just felt like, and the tennies were only so good. They only made the deck until like a certain level, and then plus it's like, as soon as I lay down that cash monster, it's gonna get most, like, I would say like 99% of, if they have it, they're gonna respond to it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well then I'll just follow up with my sword soul plays.
It'd be cool if I can get like I do the shorts as well. I only have one right now for Brandon's top with the branded, but if I can get like a little quick deck profile on that, like I did his, where it's just dishing out cards just to do it real quickly, and I can just post that on the shorts over there. Would you want to do that?
Yeah, and like I said,
cool. We'll do that, and then I'll have it done later today, and I'll just post that up on the shorts. So if y'all want to check that out, y'all can go over to our shorts. But yeah, go ahead. Continue.
And this is something that like I created from really liking the sword soul cards, and it's not something that like won a tournament and I was like, let me try that. I brought these cards together, and so it's every day I'm switching something out.
Yeah.
I'm changing something, I'm working on the ratios, and I just changed it recently. Added the lances, and because a good timed imperm can change a lot. Or nowadays people are using more back row, and nowadays the back rows are searchable and they're into the archetype. And like that double cross.
Yeah.
Like before I even realized it came out, it was just like ruining my day. And I'm like, wait, it does what? You're gonna take my, okay, and you searched that last turn, okay, that's good,
Yeah, that's a good card.
But about the regionals, it's a funny story, right? Like I said, I had been going to playing at St. Philip's, and like it got me really like a head start of going to the tournaments. So like when I went to my first tournament, like I went up and I played I think his name's Jose.
Okay.
He used to play the Invoke, right? I forgot what I was playing, and that's where I picked up Invoke, because he was playing just pure Invoke, and I was just like, I see so much potential in this.
What can you
like
do
that.
to this to make it a little?
Yeah.
It was the same
We
way.
have a similar mindset on how we look at decks, because I think I'd rather have all gas than hand traps, so I always like remove hand traps for the most part. Now I'm starting to play a little bit more, but not like a full core of hand traps. But like we were talking about the other day about the cache, I no longer see like cache as just a deck. It's also an engine.
Yeah.
That you can put in your other deck to support the other deck's ability to play through the game, and that's really helped out with that Phantom Knight deck that I built. And it does the same thing like yours does. It puts something big out, forces your opponent to have to respond to that card, and then when that's done, then I play out a whole Phantom Knight core. So when it comes to like deck building, every time I look at like a deck like Invoked, I always try to see what am I going to push here that's going to be different, Yeah. And it doesn't always work out, and I'm not expecting to win a regional or anything with it, but at locals it does throw off games, and it does help me win some things.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like mixing them two has put me in a higher winning percentages.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like when I lose, it's like I messed up.
Yeah.
I misplayed.
There was something you could have done better.
Yeah. Okay. So I was playing at St. Philip's, right? Ended up playing Jose. I actually learned a lot from Jose when we duel. You know, there's
he's a
always
really good player. If you're talking about the Jose, I know you're talking.
yeah,
about
I think it's I'm pretty sure it's the same one. And it's like every time I play him, he beats me because of his knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
You know, like I learned something, and I'm like, okay, I definitely can use this going forward. You know, which I have. So I did about two tournaments at Heroes, and then my third one was a regional, right? And this was back before time was a thing, and I was just like 10 rounds. I was like, I'll see what it's like, you know. So I remember I'm getting into the ninth round, right, and I'm just completely exhausted, like mentally exhausted. And
you were tired too, right?
Yeah, because the 8th
you're like
round.
physically tired, mentally.
and I only have 2 losses at this point, right? I only have 2 losses, and I'm just like, and I remember I'm playing this goofy guy, right? This big goofy guy, and I just remember I'm playing True Draco. That's what I'm playing, True Draco. I was in love with that. I was very good with it, because it was a good deck, you know. I'm playing True Draco, and I have anti-spell, and he's playing ABC. And I remember he set the field spell, and I think he activated it, and then it has a trigger effect. Like I think if you normal summon, then you do a search, right? It's something like that. And I'm just there like, yeah. He's like, oh, I forgot to get the search for my field spell. And he's like, is that cool if I get it? And at that point, like I said, like I was already done. I really didn't care about the match at all. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, whatever, man. Which actually gave him crazy advantage.
Yeah.
And I lost, right? And so when we go check the standings, I have like 18 points. But the thing is, so do 30 other people.
Yeah, and you gotta at that level, you can't be
Giving out freebies.
You can't be giving out freebies, like,
And so
just the amount it cost alone. Like
I remember if I would have won that match, I would have got 3 more points. It would have put me to 21, and the people that were in 21 was only like a select few. Like I would have probably got in the teens, you know. And for that to be like your third tournament, to almost do that good, like. To this day, when I feel a little tired in a tournament, I think about that, and I'm like, I felt like that could have been like start of like a Yu-Gi-Oh career, you know, because like I said, I was real young in the tournament scene, and to top a regional like that high, like I think about that, and I'm like, you know what, nah, like
you can't, you gotta learn something from that, and I think the thing that you should learn is don't do that ever again.
Yeah, and so
when someone messes up, they've literally given you the ability to. They've more than likely given you a good out to being able to win the game, and you definitely shouldn't be. I mean, you want to be nice, but at the same time, you're at a competitive level now. You know, this isn't a local or whatever. It's not.
It's not
you're
like
competing to get a spot
bucks
at nationals, and you got to be aggressive at those points. So, and even if you're mentally worn out and you've already lost 2 games, you have no idea where you could land based off of bracketing, like the tiebreakers and stuff like that. You could easily end up in top 32.
Yeah,
you know, I had 2 losses at the first regional that I topped at, but because of bracketing, and people that get 2 losses are like, I'm done.
Yeah,
but you don't know if you're done yet.
Yeah.
You know, you could easily waste the entire day, you know, going to the regional or finishing out the regional. But when you get to the end of it, you know, and you still have only 2 losses, your tiebreakers are fair. You're going to end up in at least 28 to 32, you know, in that area. And that's where I ended up at. I was like 30, 31, I think.
Nice. I think that day I had got like 50 to 60s.
That's where you landed at, roughly, like 60th.
Yep,
right?
Like exactly 60.
But this last one, I was like, okay, let me prepare. I felt like I was the most prepared, except for my deck choice. I played the Invoke, and it's like again, like I don't really like if there's a cash deck, you know, I'm gonna add something to it, you know, that's fun, you know. That's why I was with Invoke Eldritch for a while, you know. It's not like a archetype itself, you know. It's 2 different engines that I made work together, you know. So it's not like I could have net deck this, and
That is an annoying deck because I played against it. What was that guy's name? He was there last night at the tournament last night. He was playing Eldritch Invoked one day and he destroyed me. I was just annoyed with the board itself. Was just annoying, and all of the stuff that you can do. Is it?
No.
it hasn't been relevant because of the Bestials.
Yeah.
That is
The
true.
Bestials do
because it
kill
just
the golden
kills their
lords.
monster in the
And
grave.
DD Crow as well, you know, like
I mean,
because
yeah.
the traps too. So it just, and then it's like, okay, there's a reason why like some decks are meta.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, okay, that's my goal that I made, was to top a regional. You know, I feel like I got skill, you know, but it's like, okay, time to prove it, you know. So that's my goal right now, you know, to top a regional.
But you got this.
Yeah, you know, it's just gonna be
It
like,
takes time.
Whenever regionals come back to San Antonio.
yeah,
I think
whenever they do.
I mean,
hopefully
they're all
they can
over.
come
They're
back.
always in Dallas
Well,
or Houston.
we used to have here in San Antonio. We used to have like 2 or 3 a year.
A year.
Yeah,
like,
just
And
in
now
a
y'all
year.
are barely getting in one.
Yeah, so hopefully we get regionals back here in San Antonio. That last one that you went to was the last one that happened, and that was almost, if not over a year
It
ago.
wasn't over a year.
So,
It's
and
been a
this is
while.
all due to like venue not being able to have the capacity to do it. So hopefully Hero's new spot down the street from here will have the capacity, and or they actually do have the willingness to do it, because I heard that the store owner might not want to have regionals anymore. So
Wow.
hopefully,
Which there's been other stores trying to take advantage of it.
yeah, which is cool and all, but I mean, I have a sentimental attachment to Heroes because that's where I met basically everybody, and I'm pretty
All
loyal
the cool
to that.
peeps.
And I don't leave over the chairs. You know, I don't really have a problem with the chairs, I guess. But I mean, I understand why other people have.
Yeah, I
problems
mean,
with that,
I don't
but
know what the big deal about the
I
chairs.
think it has to do with the fact that we don't have we don't have the
No
issues
cake.
but it's like
Nothing on the buns.
it's
Yeah.
like, man, I've never seen so many like grown men just complain about like the chair. I mean, like
They
you
want to
said,
be
maybe it's because
comfortable.
we're
Lance. They want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Their booty means a lot.
Yeah,
Especially when they have all that
the
mass
chairs are
trying to
gonna
go
get
down.
But I
on
mean,
it.
they're acting like, oh, I can't even step inside of Heroes. The chairs are too bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Which
Heroes
is
is
fine
the
and all.
worst place in the world. Like,
Yeah.
Mass.
school table chair. I was like, yeah, y'all came off from school table chairs. Like,
Yeah.
come on, y'all. Like,
We got some.
I
thick
understand
cookies.
I understand the reason why they want the chairs out of there, and they're going to be upgrading the chairs, so that's going to be a good thing.
Allegedly.
But hopefully we get regionals back here in San Antonio, and hopefully Heroes continues to have them. Mostly because I'm going to be living less than 2 miles away from their location.
Must be
yeah,
hear that, Heroes?
shout out Heroes and Fantasies.
Yeah, shout out Heroes and Fantasies here in San Antonio. All the other shops though have really good seating arrangements.
Yeah, but
Heroes
that's
Hideout is a
their
little too small
upgrades.
at the moment. Yeah,
A lot of the places upgraded real quick.
yeah,
You know,
Shenanigans
Heroes has
upgraded.
been.
But I mean, they listen to their player base. You know, like the complaints that were happening from Heroes were heard from by Shenanigans and by Geeked Out. You know, and Geeked Out just needed more space because they were having large tournaments in such a small space. So now they have the bigger space.
Yeah,
and
it was
the
real
venue looks a
small.
lot nicer. I haven't gone there personally.
I haven't been to Geek Town. I probably will never go.
We don't need to get into that. But Shenanigans has really nice chairs. They have really nice tables. The whole setup there is really nice too as well. Heroes Hideout doing really good. They just celebrated their 1 year, so shout out to Heroes Hideout
Shout out
for
Heroes
that.
Hideout.
They have a small venue and they have a lot of people. I
They
mean,
do.
when you're getting to a point where you're having to turn people away, I think for like their Pokemon or Digimon tournaments, whichever one it is, I think
That's-
that you need to.
Oh,
That's a
especially
big
their
no-no.
One Piece tournaments. Too. I
Yeah,
heard their
one
One
of those
Piece
one of those tournaments there, they have.
No, they
a
have
lot
like 3 of them.
yeah.
They're just always.
Yeah, they're just packed.
Always packed.
Every time I go in there and they're having, I think it's Pokemon, any other game but
Like
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Pokemon,
they have a lot of
Digimon,
people in
all
there.
of
I mean,
those
Yu-Gi-Oh
games.
has a decent turnout, but those other games are like really wild there at Heroes Hideout. They definitely need more space.
Oh,
But
definitely.
in time,
They are
I'm sure at
a
some
very,
time
very
they will be
popular
upgrading it.
shop.
That seems like the what the shops are doing now, staying there for a little bit and then upgrading, you know, because
Yeah.
they see, you know, like, oh, we definitely need.
And it's crazy how much people are like actually into these card games at this point in time right now. It just seems like there is a lot of people playing.
But
All
Yeah,
these
and
different
it's
card
like a
games.
variety. It's different ones.
Yeah.
You know, like because now there's Digimon, we'll see the Digimon tournaments, and it's like, man, it's lit here, you know. One Piece, the same people love One Piece.
Yeah.
One Piece
you
is
know.
insane, but
Then,
it's
and that
just
just comes.
expensive.
That's off the back end of like having a huge fan base, you know.
Of the anime
you know,
itself.
just like every
Yeah.
other card game that I think is already attached to like some sort of animation. Has
But
a
see, the
huge
Dragon
gathering
Ball
for it.
one is not like that. The
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, it died, and that's because of the company.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, the company can easily ruin a game. I think our friend Austin, the Austins, and everyone that Edwards and Raby were talking about. What was that game that was coming out?
MetaZoo. And they play every card game.
Yeah, they play like
you know,
every card
and
game.
they play
That
it
was a
to
fun
where
game.
they can go to a tournament and still win like every card game. You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy.
So MetaZoo, they said something about like they ended up putting all of the best cards into one like box or something, and they for them it just killed the game, and that was all a company decision. For them, it killed the game, like valuation wise.
Yeah, and then everybody like stopped playing it.
Yeah, and then it just fell off. They still have products sitting on the shelves that are.
'Cause I remember some of those
haven't
cards
moved at
were
all.
like super expensive.
Yeah, they were.
You know.
It was wild how expensive some of those cards were. They were like hundreds of dollars.
But then again, that's all being sold on the secondary market.
Yeah.
You know, so the companies have nothing to do with that profit or that money moving.
And I think
so
that was a
they're
problem.
Like, this is why this is us getting into that secondary market
Yeah.
is to sell. Which Yu-Gi-Oh tried to do that with Dupo.
yeah,
You know, with the Ash.
yeah.
All the hand traps. And
They
stuff
did
like
though.
that.
That set sold really
They've been
well.
doing that a lot lately.
I think Dupo sold really well, and I think
Yeah,
I think
it-
companies are still buying those sets, and those cards are still going up
It's-
in value for the most part.
to find a sealed Dupo set is probably like $60.
Yeah,
I think
when
it's
the-
more than that. Actually.
Probably more. You know.
Dupo is they actually have really nice rarities.
well, it's just the value you get out of the box, the cards you can pull from
because
the
it's guaranteed as well.
Yeah,
You know.
and those cards are really good. I mean, you're getting reprints of almost every card that everyone
What's the new
wanted.
set that's about to be coming out? They have like imperms. They have a lot of really
I don't know
good
what the name of
cards.
that set is.
I don't
but
know what it is either.
yeah, that
but
set's gonna have a lot of reprints in
that
it
set
too.
has
The one with Baron,
insane
Yeah.
reprints.
the set with Baron, right? Baron,
Yeah,
DeFleur, and
It's
all
coming
those
out with
cards.
2 new rarities as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
these
gonna
extra,
be,
these
it's
adding
insane.
of rarities. What do you feel about? Like, I like the 25th quarter century rare. I think that makes sense because it's going to be only done for this
set.
set. And then once this year's over, they're not going to ever do quarter century ever again because we've already passed it. But all these constantly adding new rarities. How do you feel about
OCG
that?
just has so many rarities.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
At least I don't like it to this quickly.
At the extremity, yeah.
Because it's
the
like I
extremity,
was
that's
just getting hyped for the Pharaoh's rare. You know, and it's like, okay, now there's a new secret rare, and then there's a new secret. You know, like,
And then the ultra rare for the Pharaoh's rare, I don't know if y'all know this, is priced higher than the secret rare
yeah,
in the
yeah.
Pharaoh's rare set in most cases.
Most of the
that I've
ultra
seen,
rares,
that I was
yeah.
A
just
lot of
like,
people
what
like the
heck?
ultras instead of the secrets.
So the ultras must have like
Well,
a really
the
low
ultra
pull ratio or
The
something.
ultras only came out in Europe.
oh,
Yeah, they're only in Europe. So the secret ultra rares, that's American product.
Oh, okay.
makes sense.
So
So
stuff
we're
like
gonna-
this is from like market watches and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That's wild.
Any last thoughts on that?
Yes, thoughts.
On the
On the rarities.
the rarities, I do think the quarter century rares are cool.
They're
But
too
it's
close
like
to a Starlight, but I do
That's-
like that
that's
they put
the
the
thing,
25
you know?
on there.
like I'm like, man, like for me, I love Starlights. You know, I
Yeah.
put that as like the highest rarity, and for having a quarter century rare, I'm like, man, I don't even like, you know, that Zeus that we saw Pete
Yeah,
have.
that thing was.
I was like, wait, this looks like really a lot like a Starlight,
yeah,
you know, and it's like
it was really nice.
it's too close. It's
Oh,
too
is it
close.
cheap though?
No, I think right now it was like at 300.
Oh, damn! I was
Hey,
like, if it's cheap, I'm picking
looked
that. But
crazy though.
It's a nice card.
He
It's a
like
really
showed
nice
it to us, and it was like
It wasn't even.
"Whoa."
Was it even sleep? I don't think it was even.
He had it in a pack,
Yeah.
and
He
he's
popped the
just
pack open,
and he's
I was
just
why
like,
isn't this in a sleeve already?
He,
But yeah,
he's
that-
insane though.
Yeah, that
but-
card's nice. Yeah. Well, Jonathan opened that set.
Oh damn!
Yeah, Jonathan opened that pack. But
yeah,
anyway,
he pulled it.
so I know you're doing stuff on the side now. You're starting to get into stuff on the side personally with your own team and stuff like that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm part
And
of a
we'll
team.
post that. We'll put that link down there for y'all, so y'all can go over and check out what they're doing. But yeah, go ahead. And tell us.
It's called Countdown Gaming. I started it with some very good friends of mine. Shout out to Juan and Pedro. They're brothers, and yeah, we started it, but they're like super busy with life right now. Like,
Yeah.
Pedro just had another kid, and he's going through like some medical issues as well.
Okay.
I don't want to really say too much, and
Good
I don't
wishes your way.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything turns out all right.
Yeah, I hope the best. So and that's understandable. It's like the last thing on your mind is Yu-Gi-Oh. And Juan, like, he's just working. He has a really good job. He's working 24/7. This motherfucker invested $1,000 in Bitcoin and ended up coming out with $8,000.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
Really good.
That's that. I'm like, oh, good. That's a good one.
I would invest in Bitcoin, but just to get like one singular Bitcoin, it's almost like
You can do like a pool.
$32,000.
I think you can do like a pool where you do like a micro investment, so you own a portion of one coin.
Yeah, and I know how it works, but to own a full Bitcoin, it's like $32,000.
You got to start somewhere. I'm not
who's
shilling
gonna
for Bitcoin.
spend
I do not want to shill for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I never trusted it. I don't have no clue about it. It
Yeah,
seemed
and
like
we're
a
at a point
scheme.
where what can you trust anyway? But yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so they're just like super busy with life, but they're still the type to where they can sit down and they can still like
Play the game.
play it very well. But Juan, he also is moving on into what is he playing now? I think he's playing Digimon.
Okay.
So
Digimon's a
we're
good game.
Countdown Gaming, so we're doing all type of gaming. Any TCG game. Juan also plays, I think it's League of Legends, like gaming stuff. I don't have no clue about it, but
Does he also play Raid Shadow Legends?
he might, to be honest. I honestly
I mean,
don't.
Raid Shadow Legends is not bad, but League of Legends.
And just so y'all know, that was a plug for. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Go
I
into
see the
the
commercials all the time. I just never. But yeah, we're gonna be doing content, and it's just for the love of putting out content for me.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm the biggest content creator or if I'm making a lot like money off of this. I just want to make content, and it's gonna go with my goal. My goal is to top a regional, and it's gonna be
Get to nationals.
I don't know about that.
You gotta go.
That's a lot.
That's where you
lot of
want
work.
Lance, if you do top at a regional, I will help you get to nationals. I will pay for it.
Well, we'll see.
He's gonna sponsor you
I
on
also-
Ultra
yeah.
OK Duelist.
Your team will be sponsored by me.
But that's gonna be part of my vlog. Do a vlog of the road to topping.
Yeah.
Hopefully vlog at the tournaments at Heroes.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. How cool it would be to even like during a regular tournament, after it's all said and done, to get the top player and just come over and talk about like if the deck isn't the same deck from the week before, just do like an
as long
on-site
as they're
interview of how the
not
tournament
a
went.
toxic player.
We will not get into this.
We're not getting into that, James. Calm down.
Guys.
So there's also gonna be market watches. In this game you can make some money if you pay attention to the market watches. Top decks, and also just discussions about the meta and stuff like that.
When you do start doing your road to topping, you're gonna have to, in my opinion, this is just off my head, you're gonna have to really put a lot of energy and focus into getting there. I was telling in my video, the first video I posted, I'm talking about how it felt like for me during that format to put that much attention into the game and how much I felt like drained afterwards. I think that'll be cool if you're able to log that in your video. Like when you said you're going to vlog it and you're going to have videos coming out, I think that seeing that transition from start to finish And also, it could even be a letdown. You know, you can go and hit the last regional that you can possibly hit for the year, and still not top. You know, so like seeing how that can affect you and what your thoughts are at the end of it will be really cool. What do you think about when it comes to that? When you're actually going to go through it, what's your thoughts on how that's going to come through?
Like
how are you preparing? Like what are you going to do to prepare for that?
Well, I know it's gonna take commitment and like probably a lot of exhaustion, because like when I did really good at one of the regionals, I just remember how much I was playing, and there wasn't even no like content being behind that, you know. So
Yeah.
And I just remember like there would be some days where I was just like mentally exhausted of the game, but it's like, you know what, I'm gonna play tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You know, and then play, and like you just sit and you play for like hours, you know, and that's the only thing to really do. You know, you there's gonna be having to make like meta choices. Like you're gonna have to get the good cards, which cost money, you know, so that's gonna go along with it. And you know, just like preparing myself for the pretty much the exhaustion, you know.
Yeah. And you were talking about getting sponsored by, or your teammate was telling you about getting sponsored. How's that looking?
Well, like that
hasn't really developed. Has it developed into anything?
I'm not too sure. I haven't
yet.
checked back in with him yet, but that's what he said so far. He thinks he has a sponsor for us, and like maybe a place for us to play, you know, because we usually played at his house, you know. And the thing is, like, we would play here every day. It's just like you're super far from me, you know. So, and it's like not the easiest thing, you know, with that, you know. So having a place where we can all get together, and like hopefully it does come through. And a lot of times when Juan said something, like I'll take his back, or I'll
you know, what he's saying is you know, more than likely going to come through. Come through to fruition. So, well, hopefully that all is going to work out for you. I started doing this content, which is what I was telling you about before we talked about it, before I even got all this stuff and even thought about it fully, was to distract myself from doing the things that I had been doing, which was going out a lot and drinking and stuff. So I use this as a way to keep myself, you know, accountable to the fact that I need to be somewhere doing something relating to this all the time, and I need to be trying to like get new people on the show and stuff like that. So
yeah, and
it can get tiring. So I'm interested to see how like that's going to turn out for you when you're trying to do both something like this, you know, with all the content that you were talking about, and then also trying to run up through tournaments and compete at that level.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's the same with me, man, you know, like when sometimes I'm not doing nothing, and you know, like dealing with the anxiety, you know, it's like, okay, I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
You know, instead of you going one way, it's like me, like my thoughts are just going a million miles. And it's like, well, let me focus these thoughts on something healthy, you know. And then not healthy, but
I wouldn't say it's 100% healthy, because you can kind of get a little too lost in the game.
But then again, that should be on the way I
I
perceive it. You know, I could make Yu-Gi-Oh positive.
Yeah.
You know, but there's like it could get negative. You know, which
you can't control. You can't control the aspects that you have no control over. But your ability to put yourself in the right spot around the right people and stuff, that's something you can control. And as long as you're doing that, then you're gonna have an overwhelming positive outcome, as opposed to the mild negative outcomes that we come across, you know, regularly, but not so regularly that it makes me not want to play the game. I'm not going to let someone take that away from me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's definitely
or some event, whatever, do that. And I don't think we have been doing that, but yeah, I totally get what you mean. And finding the time and the balance for it all. You know,
that's
I like
also
to do,
a big one.
Yeah,
too.
I like to do. I don't like to just sit down and do that all day. I do enjoy playing the game. I don't really play it competitively. I just, you know, compete at the locals and stuff. But I do have to find a balance between, you know, I have things I have to do here at home. I have to work out, you know, I have to do clean up and stuff like that, and then I have to find time to do this, get people like interested in wanting to come on here and stuff like that, and that can all be kind of.
And then plus this whole doing the setup was a big project in itself.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I'm surprised I was able to.
Being shift, but
It helped out that I had some money saved up, but yeah, getting all this stuff over. I think it was just a 3-day weekend where I bought everything.
but
you know.
a lot of it was just actually just doing it.
Yeah, just go out there and do it. Yeah, if you have the means and the ability to do something, the only thing holding you back is yourself. So you can easily go out and figure something out, and then if you have the drive, obviously you're gonna want to go and do it. And that'll translate into everything, even in the game. You know, if you have the drive to want to be better, you know, as players, your amount of time that you spend trying to learn methodical gameplay is on you. You know, and that's what makes some of these players really good, like Zeke.
I can't stand your voice.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, guys. I have I don't know if it's allergies or whatever, but my voice is not doing
It's
so well.
raspy.
But like players like Zeke and Brandon, and they're just really good.
They're
really
like the top players at our locals.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, this dude Zeke, he top. They probably like topped those back-to-back regionals that they did have in Texas. Same with Brandon. Same with a lot of people from our locals. You know, so when he's like, I play at the locals, it does get pretty competitive.
Yeah, on
but
certain days.
What you were saying about this thinking.
It is very competitive on certain days. Wednesdays at Heroes and Saturday afternoons, for the most part, are pretty competitive when those players are there. So it usually is an uphill battle. And we win some games sometimes, and more than likely I'll lose. I haven't beat Zeke in a hot minute. It's been years. So.
Same for me. Last time I beat him, he was playing Drytron, and he hasn't played that in a long time. You know,
I never beat the Drytron deck ever.
He's a good player.
Definitely outduels me. So we are actually going to be going to a tournament right now. We're gonna come back from that tournament, and we're gonna talk about what happened. And I thought that was a pretty cool concept for you to bring up earlier. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah, because usually our tournaments have it's probably what got the idea for the podcast. Because after tournaments, we would just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the game, and
it was just a lot of cool dialogue that could have been recorded,
good dialogue,
and people could have
good ideas,
to,
and like just about stuff that we deal with the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is funny and like that happens that not a lot of people talk about. You know,
or people talk about it, it's just not talked about in the open. And on here, I'm not trying to name drop people or whatever.
No,
we know who they are, and if we were to get into a conversation about, you know, certain events or whatever that happened recently, they'll know who they are if they even watch it.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not trying to name bash anyone, but if stuff happens at our locals, like that happened the last time between two guys that we know, and it's just like, if you're not in the game
Wednesday,
you're gonna just think like it's dumb, like fighting over the game, but there's like stories behind it, and you know, just
and they go deeper because players have backgrounds with each other that, you know, we don't know about, and why they're beefing is something we don't even have an idea of what's going on. He was not there. No. He was hanging out with me that day, but he had to go to.
Does he know what happened?
No, I did tell you about what happened. Yeah, it was with Raul.
So we're not talking.
Oh, he doesn't mind.
Oh,
It's the other individual that won't mind.
Okay.
I was talking about that. But anyway, some crazy stuff happens at locals. Obviously, if y'all are Yu-Gi-Oh players, y'all know like what I was talking about. Competitiveness. This is a real competitive game, and people get pretty heated. People get upset. People get mad. People want to flip the table and pull the rug.
Grown man.
Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, not everyone's from the same background. You know, like that duelist, and those duelists are just really different people. You know, and that it just
how things can transpire during those tournaments is just wild.
Like even the last
time
little
thing, and then
I had a conflict with
your friend.
My friend, you know, and it was just like I probably should have got like that. I was actually gonna apologize to Pete for making a ruckus at at the locals. You know, I don't like bringing that into the Yu-Gi-Oh scene.
Well, Pete's a subscriber, so you can tell him. Sorry, Pete.
I play Yu-Gi-Oh to get away from that, you know, and I know Pete already deals with a bunch of like grown childs, you know, so to add some stupid
anything but a children's card game, but we do act like children when we are playing it. And
we can't read.
I've been on the receiving end of it, and I've also been someone dishing it out. You know, everyone can have a bad day, you know, so, and that is what it is. But if y'all have any bad experiences, y'all can feel free to let us know down below.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for when new videos are uploaded.